It's Divine.
And Rob.
And you're watching
Thinking Out Loud.
So we brought Destiny back today.
Hi.
Kidnapped her.
Right. So we wanted to get a little playful with you guys today, get into some topics. So one of the first things we wanted to talk to you about is people who speak and listen versus people who listen just to respond. So, there's some positives and negatives when it comes to that. I guess, can you guys think of anybody you ever met that does stuff like that? Like, eager to speak?
Yeah. A few.
So, like, do they, like, get off topic when you...
No, they listen, but they're not understanding what I'm saying. So it's just like, okay, keep talking, okay, keep talking, okay, keep talking until I'm done. And it's like, okay, I didn't hear nothing you said, but this is what I'm telling you now. And completely just dismiss everything I'm saying.
So do you think that that's an issue of comprehension?
I think it has to do with pride and ego. Because when it came to that specific...
They want to be important.
Yeah, when it came to that specific, like, discussion that we were having, it was me being wrong. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, you're letting your pride and ego affect the over... It's not about who's right or wrong, it's the principle about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I think the context is important because some people... If you're forcing someone to take a defensive perspective and they're coming off as defensive, they've already tuned you out. If they feel that you're attacking them, they've tuned you out. So I think it's almost our job to understand how we're conveying the message we're trying to deliver. If it's not coming off the right way and they get defensive, well then yeah, they're going to they're thinking of how they're going to defend themselves.
Yeah.
In other terms, speaking to respond. So how are we delivering our message? It's one thing for me to say to you,
The presentation.
Destiny, why did you do that to me? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Then I start explaining to you, you're thinking about how to defend yourself from it. Okay? Versus me saying to you, Destiny, look, there's something I want to talk to you about. My tone is different. I'm not speaking with my hands.
Your posture,
everything is different about the way I conveyed that message. You're more likely to listen to me.
Yeah.
Correct. You're going to be way more receptive to me so that it's all context.
Right. I like the male and female perspective. Since we're doing male and female perspective, we should get into something a little more controversial, like give and take in the bedroom. Why is that important?
Oh man.
Okay. You get the.
Are you guys givers or receivers?
I'm giving.
Receive, give.
I'm giving.
Okay.
I'm giving. What are we talking about exactly?
I'm talking about everything.
Your partner's needs, meeting them in the bedroom, is that super important to you? How is it more important than your own needs, or is it equal? Or is it that you give overly?
To be blunt, I'm not coming if my partner didn't come.
Okay.
I mean, sorry. So.
And you said you're more of a taker, so you need to be.
But like when it comes to satisfying my partner, I'm not only gonna care if I'm actually like really deeply interested in you. Mm-hmm. Like if we just started, I'm not really gonna care. But if we're deep into it, then it's something that I'm gonna want to freely do. Like
I got my nut. Get off me. That's you.
I agree with her. I'm the same way because I feel like I don't have to give you all of that. That takes time. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Right now, it's about me.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Because we just started, and I'm sure it's about them. But if we got to that point, we had a connection of some sort.
Yeah.
But you got to put yourself first. It takes to really care about somebody to want to put their needs first. But you said you're a giver.
I'm a giver.
So that's no matter what stage you are in the relationship, like the beginning, the middle, the end.
How can I expect someone to give anything of themselves to me if I'm not willing to be vulnerable?
Okay.
It's not realistic.
That's a good point. All right. So let's speak about like when you are in a relationship. How about is it okay if one person works and one person doesn't? Or is that like a deal breaker for you? And like, if so, is there any roles? Like, can the man stay home, or is it okay for the woman to stay home, or what's the guideline for like? What do you guys think about that? Does your partner have to work?
For me personally, I'm an independent person, so I don't need somebody to work directly for me. But I feel like if I'm going out and busting my ass to get money, you need to do the same thing because I don't need you to support me, but I need you to support yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Like.
Right.
You have to be able to provide for yourself because I'm the only one working, but I'm not going to be the only one giving and contributing to this house. It's a two-way thing.
So,
I agree.
I have 2 children, okay? And my wife and I have been in different roles in our relationship. So I do not think that roles are gender specific. I have 2 girls.
There's no role.
No, I change diapers. I take my kids to school. I pick them up. I cook for them. I do that. I'm their father. It doesn't matter. I'm their parent. It doesn't matter. There's no mother. This is the woman. She needs to clean. No. If I'm home cleaning the house, like I mean, there should be that shouldn't even be a conversation. If you have kids and you're no, you got to do what you got to do as an adult. So men that feel that they shouldn't be cleaning or doing diapers or anything like that, no. Do what you got to do, bro. You're a girl. Pull up your big boy pants and do what you got to do.
I feel like the only real role is just being there for your partner.
100%.
And making
100%.
sure everything in the relationship is functional on both sides.
100%.
Okay, I agree with you guys. So, in life, the two strongest motivational factors are fear and love. Why do you think that is?
That controls your every move.
100%. We're either moving towards pleasure or moving away from pain.
I like that.
It's just what we're doing. We all need to feel love. We all do. Why do we work so well together?
You and I?
You and I.
We're polar opposites. I don't know.
I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
We feel the love with each other. We feel comfortable with each other. Why are you here? You feel the love here. It's what it is. If you did not...
I feel very loved, guys.
Oh.
So, I think like a feeling of acceptance and love or like good chemistry with a person, like a bonding, it's like a bonding, so you want to take more.
Absolutely.
Time.
And when someone feels
invest
love,
more of your time.
correct, because that's
in
the
your
one
comfort
thing.
zone.
Yep, that's the one thing that we have that is finite. We do not know when our time is up. You can lose $10,000 tomorrow. You'll make that shit back because you make money. You'll make that back. Time, you ain't getting.
I feel like the more I give, the more I get back.
100%.
Like, I feel like when you're cheap, you stay broke. I don't know,
Agreed.
like, because there's times that I'm so giving and generous,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm never broke after that.
Yeah.
Because the universe will repay you.
Karma.
It always does.
When I used to be like angry and I used to be like full of hate or whatever, like,
because you
I was
attract
stuck.
whatever you give.
It's what it is.
So if you're giving out that love and you're giving out those positive energy, that's the same thing you're gonna get in return. If you give out that hate, you're not gonna get any happier.
I believe in Christ, but you know we all have our different beliefs, and you know my sister's into chakras and karma.
Oh
and
yes,
but it's
that's my thing.
But I believe you reap what you sow, so we
100%.
all on the same page with that when it comes to spirituality, and it's good to give love and just give. I think the condition of your heart is more important though, because if you're giving just for credit, it's not the same when you're giving from your heart.
Right.
Like I'm the type of person, if I give you a gift, you can open that in your time. You don't have to open it up and show everyone or show me. That's from me to you. I'm more private about when I give people stuff that's me and you. Like, you do that later. And I'm like more like weird when I get a gift. I'm just like, oh, like I'm appreciative, but like I just get like a little nervous about it.
Yeah, like I'm not expecting anything.
Yeah, like I'm not expecting anything. Absolutely. So, but the two forms are love and fear. They do drive us to make decisions. Like there's times you'll do something for somebody you love that maybe is out of character that you would have never done, or out of fear. Like we could think even back to childhood when we were like disciplined. Like, oh, I know my parent doesn't like this, so let me not do this. Oh, okay. Let me not sneak out the house at midnight because my parent is attentive and I don't want to get in trouble. Or let me get home. I remember my dad used to tell us, wherever you are, you got to be 20 minutes from the house. So when he tells us to come home, we should be there in 20 minutes. And one day I was like 40 minutes away. I was running. I was begging the train conductor to drive faster. I was so petrified, and it wasn't even out of fear of him hitting me. It was just fear of disappointing him. Like fear of like I just respected him. He didn't even really hit us. But yeah, so fear and love.
Fear is not always a bad thing.
No.
It's not, to be honest, because like you see, what you're saying is you were scared of that reaction or that disappointment, but fear can also limit you a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like fear is the number one reason why people don't step out their comfort zone. And once you step out your comfort zone, that's when you're open up to a whole bunch of new opportunities.
Correct.
So fear isn't always too
bad. Since we're doing men and women, why men versus women stepping out? Why do you think women cheat versus the reasons men cheat?
Are you waiting for me?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now this is not totally universal. I think this kind of switches, but when men cheat, I think it's more physical. Like I'll say, yo, that ass is fat. I got a hit. That's normally the motivation. I'm not saying it's always the case, but it normally is. Women,
Or
this
lust.
correct. Women, I believe this comes in stages. There's a process to this. I'm your man. I'm not giving you what you want. So
If I'm continuously having a conversation with you and it's not improving,
mhm.
it's gonna affect our relationship. It's gonna make me think like, am I in the correct relationship?
Correct.
Do you not care about my needs, or my needs not gonna come first? You know?
Correct.
I shouldn't have to ask for certain things
Again, it's a process.
over and
So
over.
now you're looking at her, so to
Mhm.
speak. She's listening to you. You guys are spending a little more time together. Back to what we talked about, right? Who you spend your time with. Okay, next thing you know, you have a few drinks. Now you're making out, right? Now you have a decision to make right then and there, and you're gonna have one of two emotions. One is either, oh my God, what did I just do? Oh wow, wait a second, I think I kind of like that. Either way, the decision that you have to make is, do you make that the awkward conversation? Normally, you do not.
No.
You don't. You just
No.
continue the flow because
You
that's where it's
continue
ready.
the flow. Exactly. Now, all of a sudden, what do you have? An affair. This is how it happens. It's not like, Destiny, I am deciding to have an affair with you. Let's do this tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that
That
way.
wouldn't work, right?
No, it doesn't work that way. It's in stages. This is a this is a process.
It has to be organic.
Correct. Organic. Great word. That's what I think.
Yeah, so I agree with you. So since we're talking about stepping out and stuff like that, how do you guys feel about people who have like some form of STD or disease? Like, how should they go about dating?
You got to be transparent.
Be transparent. That's
Yeah.
very important.
That's the first thing that you should always do is admit that. You know, that's something so severe and life changing that you can't hide that from somebody. And if you really want to be in a relationship with somebody, then you should be really open to telling them that that's what you have to deal with.
So I found out that there's this like these dating sites that have like herpes for herpes, gonorrhea for gonorrhea, whatever it may be. So
Really?
I forgot exactly what it's called. It's some type of thing. So I always felt like people with this thing should date these people. People with that thing should date these things. And till one day there was a scare, right? So I was much younger or whatever. The girl that I was messing with, she didn't tell me that her previous partner was positive till after we were messing around. So I was petrified and I thought that she was also positive, HIV. So, everything came out good, checked out, whatever. Years later, she was negative, I was negative, and we just took it as a bullet that we dodged. But I was very upset with her, because it's a betrayal. It's like you start thinking like, and then when I had to let my immediate circle know, like, listen, we have to do this also quarantine. Same quarantine I mentioned earlier. We have to do this quarantine. People start acting different. They didn't want to smoke off the same cigarette. It was like very like a bad feeling. It's like, damn, like I'm in this.
Outcast.
Yeah, you felt outcasted immediately. So it's like you don't want to tell people. But then, and I didn't. I was thinking as if I was positive. I was thinking I don't want to date someone positive because that's like, oh my God, like ew, like not ew as an ignorant ew, but like I still have the same mentality from when I was clean.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't want to be with anybody. That was the solution ultimately till I figured this thing out.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God I was spared. I'm completely clean and healthy to this day. But at that moment, those were my thoughts. I was thinking, you know what? I'd rather be single with nobody because I don't want to date somebody who's infected and make it worse.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering that's how they think, like they don't want to be with somebody who's worse. Maybe you can, two people, one has a different stage can make it worse. Like let's say someone has HIV, someone has AIDS, and they sleep together. They can mess up the T count, the T cell, I believe it's called.
Yep, T cell, yep.
They can mess that up, right? So it's a kind of, but then you're thinking like I can have unprotected sex with anybody. What is the worst that can happen? I can contract a different one. Herpes or something like that, but it's very, it's, but then I've met people and I've spoken to them and they don't care that they're infected. Yeah. So, that's scary because you have to have a conscience about it.
100%.
You can't go around, I would never hurt the people that I care for or even people that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I would never just be like, oh, fuck it. You're an asshole. Let's sleep together without a condom and I'm going to change your life. I would never think that way, but that's just me, and I feel like, people should be that way, but everybody's not the same. So we have to, unfortunately, in today's society, be very cautious and careful protect ourselves. If I'm doing something with somebody and the condom breaks, if we don't both jump up at the same time and get scared, something's probably wrong.
Yeah.
You know, so that's something that we have to be very, very careful with our life. That's the most important thing we have. We can't buy health. So, you know, and everything is against us right now. The food that we're eating, the government, the conditions we live in, everything is affecting our health. Those airplanes that are dropping cancerous toxins in the air, in the atmosphere, and a lot of stuff going on, you know, that people are not aware of. But, you know, conscious people are aware of these things happening in the world. So, you know, these things are all real and happening. So, you know, it's a lot of things out there, man-made diseases. We got to protect ourselves in every which angle. But, you know, the least we can do is when we decide to be with somebody, you care about yourself enough, I care about myself enough, let's agree to wear protection, and that's it.
Yep.
Or we shouldn't be doing this.
Correct.
So, yeah, but two people that, but a person who is, that's another thing with love. Some people would accept somebody who is.
I've seen that.
I've seen it as well.
Seen that.
You know, and they're still together to this day.
Yeah, yeah.
One is still negative. I don't know. Actually, I don't know the latest thing, but you know,
it's the male that's negative, correct?
Yeah.
I know why.
Why?
It's much harder for a male to contract HIV than it is for a female. You know that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, the male is actually negative in that situation, but in the other situation, the female is negative. There's two situations. That's crazy. Okay. Yeah. So. All right. So, when does a person deserve a second chance?
Okay, I'm gonna talk about this because I'm a very sympathetic person. So I don't
That's
like
good and
to.
bad.
Yeah, I know it's like my weakest point about me, but it's also one of my greatest because it's like
people need.
I don't like to judge. And if you did what you did and you owned up to what you did and you took that responsibility, I'm gonna want to give you that chance. But then my thing is like, you can't just say it. You have to prove that you're changed. And that's one of my flaws, is that somebody will sincerely make it seem like if they're genuine about what they're saying, and I'll believe them enough to give them that second chance. So I feel like the only time it's good to get that second chance is if they work their way to prove to you, not just by words, but they're proving to you that they're consistent. They're proving to you that they really want you. Yeah, letting their actions speak louder than their words, because anybody could say that they changed, but it's a matter of, did you really? And how did you change? So it's a tough topic.
No, yeah, absolutely. You have to follow up with the change behavior. Like, prove to me that I'm the person that, you know, that you really want to be with, and it needs to be done in front of me. You're the one that brought the poison in the relationship. You have to fix it.
And sometimes
it's not enough.
Like, this is when I go back to the question too about how love, you know, and the factor of fear and all of that. Love can sometimes make you do a lot of stupid things. And one of those stupid things could be going back to that person who hurt you the most, going back to that person who was the most toxic in your life. And so you just need to be cautious with what you're putting yourself into. And when you're putting yourself into that, giving somebody a second chance that hurts you, then you really need to like be cautious with every move you make, because if they did it once, they can do it again.
Absolutely. Wow.
I'm not a judgmental person.
You're not.
I'm very forgiving, almost to a fault, and I think that I'm like that.
Stop making
because I've made my share of mistakes as well. With that said, you got to draw the line somewhere, I believe. What kind of mistake are we talking about? A mistake over and over. Okay, if you're my girl and you cheated on me one time, I would forgive you. A mistake made over and over again, however, is now a decision.
It's a choice. Yeah.
It's now a decision. Then it's like, you know, maybe this isn't what you want. That doesn't make them a bad person. Like, I'm not going to shame their name if that's what happens, and that's fine. You know, someone doesn't have to be like let's say I'm dating you, it doesn't work out. Does that mean you were a bad person? No, it means you were bad for me. And that's okay.
But now I have a question for you, because this kind of goes, like, I feel like it's kind of contradicting something that you said earlier.
Okay.
So you were saying how in terms of, you know, when the partner cheats, how the guy does that basically out of impulse. So how do you go about this situation where you want to give somebody a second chance, but the guy did it off of impulse? That doesn't mean that he's bad for you, like you said.
Right.
Because it was an impulse decision. He could still care about you. He could still love you.
Agreed.
But he still cheated. So that's kind of contradicting.
You're saying lust is a driving force, but after one mistake, it becomes a decision.
Yeah.
So that's what it also said. So with that being said, then now the decision that you chose to make has a consequence and a repercussion.
Right.
At this point,
when it reaches that decision, I feel like the best thing to do is not give that person a second chance.
A
When
third
it comes
chance.
to that decision, but
Oh, a
instead,
second chance, yeah.
love from a distance. You know, it's okay to love somebody, and love does make you do stupid things, but you
It
have
does.
to prioritize yourself before anybody else, because all you have is yourself.
Absolutely.
So you need to love from a distance if this is something
that
that's
love that
repetitive.
you're giving to this person, you can give that to yourself.
Yes.
Right.
A lot of people have a problem with being alone.
That was my problem. That was one of my problems. And when I fell and I realized I'm crying on my bed right now by myself. Nobody's wiping my tears. Nobody's doing nothing. That's when I realized that that's all I have. So if I'm gonna sit here and waste my time crying over somebody, hurting myself because of somebody, no. I need to start loving myself more than I loved anybody else.
Good for
And
you.
that's what I
And
did.
being by yourself is actually when you understand the key to life, you enjoy being by yourself. You're not codependent. You don't need that person to validate you. You feel complete on your own. Another person, for me to date somebody, your presence has to be greater than my time alone. Period.
Deep.
I don't feel the need. I don't crave another person. So when I do get a partner, I usually get a very good partner, a partner that's very good for me, that's very caring and contributing emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, all those things, because I already have everything I need, you know. And I'm not gonna just be comfortable with somebody. You have to be greater than my time alone. So if you're causing chaos and stuff, that's a red flag to me. I'm instantly turned off. So I've learned to form my attachment to a person based on different things. Not based on spending time with them, but based on the connection and learning about what type of things this person does. Their habits and their behavior is what I decide to form an attachment or don't. And when I see something inconsistent, I'm able to retract.
Okay.
Because I've
That's a
trained
good
myself.
quality.
I've
Yep.
trained myself to see you for who you really are and not who you pretend to be.
I'm not good at that. I'm not good at that.
Yeah, I'm not either. I suck at that. That's such a good quality.
Are you guys hard with breaking up with people?
Yes.
I let my love get in too deep, so I feel like that's my issue. To be honest.
Yeah,
Some people need deep love. It's just the thing of meeting the right person, like crossing paths with the right people. Because sometimes we might meet somebody and, you know, we think that they're great in the beginning, and then like we give them a chance, we get comfortable in a routine, and it's like we're not meeting other people because we have things that we do on a regular basis. We give them a chance and we try to make it work instead of making sure that what we need first and then work. It'll be organic.
Evaluating the situation overall, not
I should
just
do that.
right.
Because I want to find the good in everybody, right? So, yeah, I have a tough time with that.
Finding the good in everybody, I've learned not everybody has good in them. You have to hold people accountable for their actions.
Agreed.
Not everybody is good.
Agreed.
can't
I
put
was-
us nothing.
I was raised to see the good in people, and I realized as I got an adult, a lot of toxic people that enter my life, that not everybody has good in them. So, you know, when people show you who they are, you gotta believe them.
Yep.
Because if you wouldn't do that to them, they shouldn't be doing it to you either. But yeah. So you know, we had a great time with you guys today. We're gonna wrap it up. Thank you.
See y'all later.
Bye.